Hi everyone, I'm Delicia, and thanks for watching the CIGARVIXEN channel. Today I'm introducing my second Manufacturer Crush Monday, which is a little bit different than the first one. Today's Manufacturer Crush is really focusing more on the overall brand versus just an individual. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce the original Nicaraguan cigar, established in 1968. They were the first premium handmade cigars coming out of Nicaragua. Meet Joya de Nicaragua on my hat as well. Now, Joya has undergone quite an extensive history in their 47 years of business. It was first started, as I mentioned, in 1968 by a couple of Cuban immigrants who began growing and rolling tobacco in a company called Nicaragua Cigar Company. They became the first national cigar to be marketed worldwide. During the 1970s, after the Nicaraguan dictator at the time, by the name of Anastasio Somoza, learned that Joya was the official cigar of the White House, he naturally took an interest in the company and used his position to take part ownership in the Nicaraguan Cigar Company. Production was booming, and in the mid-70s, the company moved to a larger building where they still remain today. The company has survived many devastating events, including a massive earthquake and a civil revolution which destroyed much of their building. After the revolution was over, the workers actually rebuilt the factory and were so dedicated they literally worked for 4 months with no salary while things were getting back on their feet. When you're inside their building, you can still see the areas where the black brick is exposed from the earlier fires and bombings that they withstood. Now, not to say that their factory is anything but pristine. However, I enjoyed the fact that they kept their historic roots as a reminder of the perseverance. The company also stayed afloat during the 1980s when the U.S. embargo hit Nicaragua, which lasted about a decade. In 1994, Dr. Alejandro Martinez Cuenca acquired the Nicaragua Cigar Company, and with his deep passion for cigars, he has turned Joya de Nicaragua into what we all know and love today. Now, I've only had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Martinez one time, and that was during the Puro Sabor Festival, which, from what I could tell, he's a very classy and elegant individual that shares a real passion for cigars. So much so that he's actually passed that passion along to his son, Juan Martinez, who I'm very proud to call a friend. And I must thank and give some props to Juan, because any Joya event I've ever been to, whether it's at a festival or elsewhere, he's always right there. He's the face, and he is really going out there and meeting people and really reintroducing the brand to anybody that maybe hasn't heard of him or has only tried some of the older brands. He really does a great job in meeting people and just, again, representing the beautiful brand. And my first time to Nicaragua, I had the pleasure of visiting their factory, and I was really impressed by the fact that Juan was there personally to greet myself and our group, and, you know, really gave a really awesome history lesson. Now, I'm a history buff, so I really appreciated, aside from the beautiful table that had a full humidor of like all of the Joya cigars, and he let us all pick however many we wanted. We could smoke them there, take a couple for the road. And so we all did that, of course. Now, he gave a very extensive history on, much better than I just did, on their factory and on the overall company, with some really neat vintage pictures and just really giving us all a better understanding for the history that's involved in that company. And again, I really appreciated that. Now, we all lit up cigars, and then we continued into the factory tour, which, again, very impressive. I mean, their factory is immaculate. They have, nothing is machine made. It's all hand done. And they really just take it to the next level when they're giving their tours. You know, they let you get in there. They take the pieces of tobacco, and instead of just pointing out, this is the room for sorting, or this is where the rollers are making stuff, you know, they actually, Mario, our tour guide, he took a piece of seco tobacco and a piece of the viso, and he lit them both to kind of show us, you know, the difference in why one is made for aroma and one is done for the burn of the cigars. But it was really neat that he did that. It kind of gave more of a hands-on feeling. And after our tour, we went back into the main room where we started, and there was a nice display of some Flor de Caña rum, which I'm drinking right now, and some chocolates that were native to Nicaragua. There's a volcano, one of the volcanoes actually. I can't remember the name of it, but this chocolate was phenomenal, especially paired with Joya, which I think at the time I was smoking the Antaño 1970, which, by the way, since I'm just brought up that cigar, you have to know that Joya was the first company that really introduced the stronger full body cigars to the market. Before that, there really wasn't anything that was notably strong or even full bodied. It was all pretty mellow, mild, medium. So that one came out and it just really like sunk in. People were like, oh my gosh, I gotta have this. And it kind of set a trend. So now, of course, we all know, everywhere you go, it's like, where's the medium, full, a lot of flavor, where's that rich tobacco? And they're really responsible for that. So another accolade, and hats off to Joya for that. But getting back to my experience there, we walked in and we had our Flor de Caña lit up new cigars, and then went back to the table where we originally were sitting, and there was all this beautiful tobacco leaves laid out and labeled by name, and we had a chance to blend our own cigars, which I'm actually smoking mine right now. And I have to say, honestly, it's not bad at all. I was kind of sketchy. I've never blended. I know the tobacco that I like, and I can't remember the blend that I used for this, so hopefully it's somewhere in the records of Joya. But I'm pretty sure I used like a Mexican San Andres leaf. And based on the sweetness of this one, I'm almost positive that I used some sort of a leaf from the Omnetepe region, because it has that very distinctive, sweetness that comes from that region. And it's actually pretty tasty. There's a lot of cedar, especially in the very beginning. Now it's sort of kind of getting into more of a sweetness. Overall, there's some cocoa, a little bit of coffee, but really just a nice sweet tobacco taste that I'm really enjoying it. So Joya, feel free if you'd like to use my blend. You got it on film here. I'm okaying it. But getting back to the original reason of the video, the Manufacturer Crush Monday, I'm urging all of you watching to post your favorite Joya de Nicaragua picture, whether it's yourself smoking or just a picture of the beautiful cigars that they have. Make sure you post those on social media today and today only. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you tag me, tag Joya de Nicaragua, and I'm going to be selecting my favorite to send a couple of my very own blended cigars from Joya de Nicaragua, as well as a couple other Joyas that are in my humidor. So I'm going to be selecting one. Make sure you participate, have some fun. It's Monday. Let's get the week started off right. Thanks for watching as always. Special thank you to Joya de Nicaragua for all the hospitality you've shown. And once again, if you've never been to Nicaragua, book your plane tickets, get over there. You have to experience this beautiful country. I absolutely fell in love with it. Once I retire, you could probably find me there. I absolutely love it. And if you can't make it on my cigar safari, which I invite all of you to go, it's November 9th through the 15th of this coming year. If you can't make it on that, visit during January, during their Puro Sabor Festival. It's a Nicaraguan festival. Joya is a big participant, and there's a lot of amazing tobacco that's coming out of that. So again, I invite you all to Nicaragua. Thanks for watching. Happy smokes. Cheers to you, and happy Monday.